Hey guys, MTG123 here with another Frostpunk video. So, what I'm going to do today is just give you a few tips on a new home scenario and just general things that happen in it. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm not going to say what happens exactly, but there's a few things that will happen during the playthrough. It is one of the longest scenarios. It's the main story with it, and will pretty much be the first thing you do while you're going Frostpunk, unless you want to go straight on to Endless, but that doesn't have much of a story to it. Now, this is just the intro. Now, this is a really good intro, and I'm going to be doing a review of Frostpunk, so I'm not really going to say much about it. But so obviously this kind of just introduces you to Frostpunk, really, and it's a really good way it does it. It's not even like kind of a live action, it's kind of just moving pictures. That's what I can see there. So it's kind of it's really good way of telling it, and obviously the narration on it is really good. So New Home. What is it about? I would say it's one of the easiest scenarios there, so it's really it shouldn't be that much of a challenge to beat it, when you first go. Medium, for example, but obviously don't go absolutely crazy. But the good thing about New Home is it gives you can give yourself quite a bit of time to get ready. So after day 15-20, you can be basically ready for everything if you do it all right. Obviously, you will have certain challenges pop up at certain points, regardless of whether you activate something or a certain amount of time goes by, in which case it will force it to push the story ahead. So at first, obviously, you just got to build your city, got to find a few survivors of the blizzard. Now this is, you know this as soon as possible, you've got to look for these. These are just the first few days, basically. And you've just got to look for a place called Winterhome. Now, that's basically as far as I'm going to go with telling you what happens. So you've got to find a city called Winterhome. After you discover the place, I can mention the place. Now, at first I start dating people. Finally, that's it pretty much. You get, depending what difficulty you're on, you could have a few resources to basically nothing. You don't just start from scratch. Now, just a few tips on this is that emergency shift a few of the outside piles, just get them. Your people won't die from it, unless you put them in a building and then you emergency shift them, which there's almost a guarantee that will happen. But on piles outside, they won't do that, so that's really handy. So it's just fight the cold. You just got a few objectives. You don't really have to do it, but like me personally, I'll just, if I can, I would build tents before anything. Well, I'll get tech lab, then build tents. And if I can get all the tents in first night, then that's good, because I could basically not go without using the generator for 3-4 days. So that's really good, doing it like that. Now, along the way, you will find a few things, and you'll find an automaton. You got to decide whether you want to keep that, and that's up to you really what you want to do, whether you want a bonus now or later on. Now at one point you will hit this story point where it will knock all of your hope down, and I'm saying basically if you lose 2 or 3 people, you probably lose all your hope. So you've basically got to find a way to sort that out, and it will give you the purpose tree at this point to actually start getting your hope back up. Now you can see here I'm building not quite next to the generator. Now I discovered this myself at some point where I realised I can move it out a bit, because buildings, funny enough, if you only heat half of the building or more of it, then it actually just counts as heated. You don't need to heat the whole building, which is really nice. But it's horrible as well, because if it's less than half, then it won't heat it. But yeah, so this is what I do, because the generator will always heat all of those. And it does cost a bit of wood, but it means I can fit so much more in the middle, including 2 medical posts and a cookhouse, which is so good to do. trying to keep a cookhouse on the outside heated is a real pain. But with the generator there, it's all good. So obviously you lose your hope, and then you just gotta go through the purpose law and make sure that you stop being discontented. Otherwise, they will basically leave the city for good. So yeah, gotta make sure that doesn't happen. Now, and again, if that does happen, if they like 100 of you people leave, then you don't lose, you just lose all the people that actually went, but the rest stay with you. So it's not end of the game. So it just depends how well you handle it. Just making sure that you don't bring too many people in at once, otherwise you could end up hitting food shortages and then basically failing that way. So you gotta just take your time with it, and the good thing about it is that you're not too pushed on this scenario, so you can take your time with it. So after you've dealt with all the hope and they've buggered off, if there's any left, you start getting people coming in, and you've got to decide whether you keep them in or not. And then you basically got to make a decision that this is over, a few weeks basically. So it's still a long time. And then at the end, you've basically got to make sure you've got loads of tech all ready up, and you've basically got to stock up a little bit on resources, the essentials. Now, I'm not going to say why, but all I'm saying is you've got to stock up and be ready to deal with a bit of colder temperatures that the game's probably made you think that it's going to go down to, and a few other things that are going on. So stock up and make sure you're ready for basically the end game of it. Obviously you just do each attack and you just go down, and it does give you plenty of time to do that. So also in New Home there is one outpost that is very important. Now, if you're not too bothered about risking losing people, get the Tesla City for steam cores. Now this is very important because you can basically make loads of automatons then, and that will really help you out in this scenario at the end. So pretty much that's kind of a general gist of tips on the New Home scenario. Just make sure that you keep everyone happy, and you try and build automatons as soon as possible because they are well worth it. And yeah, just try not to rush too fast into it, because just take your time. This is a game where you just gotta take your time, and if you speed through it, then you're either gonna have an ending where you lose everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people, or they're gonna kick you out at some point, unless you're basically prepared to deal with discontent and hope things and all that. So just nice and steady in this scenario. It's hopefully you become confident enough to be able to do it on Survivor. And this has been AnswerG123. So I hope you liked the video, and if you want, you feel free to subscribe. I will be doing more of these on the other scenarios in the future. So hope you enjoyed. Any other questions, just put a comment down and I'll promptly reply as fast as I can with any answers that you need. Okay, and I'll see you in the next one.